Hi, my name is Lucenti and I am the designer behind The Shadowed Home. I am also a senior studying fashion design at Parsons School of Design in Manhattan. It's really about the emotions that I feel when I'm coming back from New York, being at school and returning home for break. In New York I feel very safe because of all the lights being on, there being so many people around, and also in various places that I've lived, my buildings have had certain amounts of security. I think, I also just want to clarify that I was living in Manhattan and then coming home to Little Rhode Island where not much is happening. It's really dark and the houses are really spread out and it's very quiet. It's a really big shock. And so in that way, that sense of safety that I feel in New York is gone when I come back home. And I return to this specific home that I grew up in. Because I'm in the materiality pathway at Parsons, which is, you can choose different pathways that you want to go into for thesis. So like I said, mine was materiality, and for that it's kind of, the process is you work on the material and you create the textile first and then you create the garments. So for me, I figured out my theme and then I started creating different textiles, experimenting with kind of non-traditional materials that you see in fashion and clothing, such as like insulating foam and resin and headliner foam and hair. And I made a bunch of swatches with those, and then from there I did my sketches, and then I started toiling and then created the final garments. I want people to be inspired, specifically because this collection doesn't fall within a certain category. It's not ready to wear, it's not meant to be worn to the market or the grocery store, but it's also not costume, it's not meant for the stage. It kind of falls into event wear. So in that sense, it's kind of creating its own section and category for itself. It bridges two passions that I have, one being fine art and sculpture, as well as fashion design. So in that sense, it kind of makes it a little bit more unique and personal to me. And then finally, just, it's kind of bringing this theme of paranoia, which isn't super popular. And, it falls under this category of horror, but it's not specifically horror. And so in that way, it's kind of bringing this very specific theme into fashion and making it wearable. And I think just the last thing to note about that is, yes, there are statement pieces that are very outlandish and might not be, again, like worn every day, but at the same time, the pieces can be adapted. And there are ready-to-wear elements within the pieces. For example, there's trousers, there's a mini dress, there is a bolero, and so there's elements of the collection that, if developed in various fabrics, could be more wearable. So I just hope that people kind of catch on to these details and in that way inspires them and makes them look at fashion a little differently. I am mostly kind of just looking for jobs currently, but if people show enough interest in the collection, I would love to kind of create a brand around it. And if people want commissions, I'm also open to that. But I kind of just have to see how people react to it. So far, I've been posting a lot on social media as well as my website, and a lot of people have commented and shown interest, so that's been really rewarding. But I kind of just have to see where the project takes me, and I have to wrap it up and then kind of see what comes of that. So thank you for having me for this interview. I hope you guys enjoy the collection and you can relate to it a little bit and you get inspired from it. And if you guys want to follow it more, you can find me on Instagram at The Shadowed Home. And then you can also find me on my website, which is needsrepair.com. And there you can find all my projects as well as all the work that's gone into my thesis. So thank you.